time to be a hero. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, my theme for this month was supposed to be football season, but my friend Holly Pell had posted something on Facebook that this month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And in tribute, I'm wearing this Childhood Cancer Awareness Team Comic Hero tee. The color for that is yellow. And I also have this yellow ribbon on the left sleeve. And parents, if there is something wrong with your child that's very obvious, please get your child checked out, because it's very sad when anyone has to live with cancer, but it's heartbreaking when a child has to battle cancer. Today by the way, it's episode 81, and if you watched last week's episode, the count was at 6,943. As to how many comics I'm going to buy today, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it in this episode. So, I got to ask, any questions? Alright, I have 6 questions for this week, and the first question is from Brian Ferguson from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Yes, what character needs their own book to expand their own story? Simple, the Green Goblin. And this is why. We know a lot about the Green Goblin / Norman Osborn. He's one of the premier villains in comics, not just in Marvel, but in comics in general. We know a lot about him, but then there's still a lot about him that we don't know. Like what was his upbringing? What was he like as a child? All this, and I think he deserves this movie. Although I'm not really one for villains to have their own books, because I don't think they deserve their own books. Although, this coming from a guy who reads Sinestro. But anyway, I think the Green Goblin. But seriously. Okay, this next question is from Courtney Emerson from Arlington, Texas. He asks, do you think by Marvel killing off mutants and canceling Fantastic Four, is it a way for them to put the screws to 20th Century Fox for the X-Men and Fantastic Four movie rights? Yes. Because, well, yes and no. I say that because of this. Yes, because, to me, comics tell the true story. Oh my God! Movies are pretty much the ultimate version of versions of the movie. And although one thing that you heard me harp about in past episodes, dating back to summer of 2014, I am totally against Marvel canceling Fantastic Four for the reasons that they did. They canceled it because they were very upset with 20th Century Fox and the Fantastic Four movie reboot. And after watching a movie, rightfully so. But they did not need to cancel the book. Because at the same time, I mean, they're pretty much, you know, I don't know, getting back to 20th Century Fox, but at the same time, they are hurting fans like me who have read this book. This book first came out in 1961. They're the first family of superheroes, and I felt like Marvel, and then not only did they end the book, but they also broke up the team. I think in this all-new, all-different Marvel post-Secret Wars, the only two members of the Fantastic Four you're really going to hear about is only two of them. You're going to hear from the Thing and the Human Torch, but not from Reed and Sue. I mean, the Thing is going to be a member of Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you have the Human Torch who's going to be a member of the Uncanny Inhumans. Now, there's a human. Now, there's something that I've been trying to figure out for the past month. That the Human Torch is in the Uncanny Avengers book, but the only question I have is it Johnny Storm or Jim Hammer? I even took to Twitter and asked Ryan Stegman, the artist on Uncanny Inhumans, which Human Torch was that, and he did not tell me. So your guess is as good as mine. But you know, as well with X-Men, yes. Fantastic Four, no. But yeah. Oh, and Courtney Emerson also asked, why do they keep changing Superman's powers? They keep changing Superman's powers to keep him current. Let me tell you something, folks. Superman does not need to be updated. He's one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it characters. I mean, he's also very timeless. He doesn't have to adapt to the. Superman can adapt to just about any day and age. It doesn't matter whether it was the Great Depression when he made his debut which was back in 1938, and it doesn't matter if it's now. He's a timeless character. I mean, fans love him, although there's some fans who do hate him. I'll admit it. But giving him this extra power where he emits solar energy from his entire body, I think that's very, very excessive. And one other thing about this current Superman that I don't like is the fact that Jonathan and Martha Kent dies right into his early 20s, late teens. The Superman from the previous DC universe, why he was such a more grounded and down-to-earth character as opposed to this new one that came on the scene back in 2011, is because his parents, you know, lived throughout the early part of his adulthood. I mean, Jonathan Kent died of a heart attack in a Brainiac story arc, and Martha Kent still lived to the end of that DC universe. All right, but next question. Next question is from Chad Blackwell from Woodlands, Virginia. He asked, what is the next Marvel or DC movie you would like to see released in theaters, or which one are you anticipating? I got one word for you, Chad. Deadpool. I am so looking forward to that movie. I mean, you have Ryan Reynolds, you know, reprising his role that he first did in X-Men First Class. X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm sorry, folks. X-Men Origins Wolverine. But they're telling his origin the right way. Now in X-Men Origins Wolverine, I don't know who wrote the script, but they must have been high on crystal meth or something, because that's not Deadpool's origin was wrong, and the way he got his powers, but they're telling it correctly in this movie coming up. And it's supposed to be funny, and it's supposed to break the fourth wall. Now, Deadpool broke the fourth wall in comics. I just can't wait to see how he's going to break the fourth wall in movie theaters. And I know it's going to be spectacular. So definitely Deadpool. All right, this next question is from Jake Young from Springfield, Missouri. What's your favorite comic book that's not about a superhero? Mine is Scott Pilgrim. Well, Jake, I don't have one. But I've always wanted to read Scott Pilgrim because Scott Pilgrim is, he's just a teenager. He's just a teenager trying to live his life, and everybody is out to get him. To me, Scott Pilgrim is kind of like the white version of me. Only difference is, I don't have a hard time deciding between two women. But I really wanted to read Scott Pilgrim ever since seeing the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But if he still comes out with books, I will definitely read that. So, I'm with you, Jay. Scott Pilgrim. All right, his last question is from Susie Beck, one of my coworkers at my job, from West Monroe, Louisiana. She asked, where do you keep your collection of books? Well, Susie, the place I keep my my books, I keep them in. Gotcha. No, but to answer your question, Susie, I actually keep, like, the books that I currently read. All the monthly books and miniseries that I currently read, they're on a bookshelf in my apartment, and all the books I don't read are in storage somewhere. Now, as to where they are, I cannot tell you. Come to think of it, I can't tell anyone. Only a few people know where I keep these books, and they're not talking. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. And folks, and I want to thank everyone who asked the questions for this week. And folks, keep the questions coming. This is such a great segment. This is one of my favorite segments of the show. And if you or anyone else has any questions for the Any Questions segment, contact info is down there. Now, speaking of Courtney Emerson, who asked 2 of the 6 questions in this week's segment of Comically Speaking, he requested a very interesting DC versus Marvel fight ever. On the DC side, we have Batman. On the Marvel side, we have Cyclops. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call DC versus Marvel.
Hulk! Smash!
Welcome to DC versus Marvel. Today, it's Batman versus Cyclops. Batman possesses genius-level intelligence, peak physical and mental conditioning, master detective skills, is a master of martial arts and hand-to-hand combat, and utilizes high-tech equipment, weapons, and armors. Cyclops possesses optic force blast and spatial awareness. Who will win? Cyclops wouldn't be shy about using his optic force blast against Batman. This would prove to be his undoing. Despite Cyclops' spatial awareness, Batman's speed would be too much to handle. Batman then punches him right between the eyes, breaking the ruby quartz visor on Cyclops' mask. By the way, due to a head injury, Cyclops can't control his optic force blast without the visor or a pair of glasses with ruby quartz lenses. Batman yells at Cyclops to stop. Cyclops says he can't without the visor. Batman, the ultimate detective, notices a scar on Cyclops' head. He punches him in the area of the scar, causing the optic force blast to stop. Cyclops said, "You did it! I don't need my visors or glasses anymore." Batman replies by saying, "Bye, Scott," and knocks him out cold. Batman wins. And that concludes this DC versus Marvel fight. Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed the DC versus Marvel fight. And if you have any requests for a fight, contact info is down there. Now then, it's time for your favorite and my favorite segment, Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! All right, the first thing I want to talk about in the comically speaking segment for this week is the new Superman book coming out in a few months, and it's a spinoff from the Convergence miniseries that DC did over the summer. Well, the spring and the summer, the spring rather, and it's called Superman, Lois, and Clark, and it's dealing with Superman and Lois raising their son Jonathan on Earth Prime, and just when they are things are going well, they find out there's another Superman and Lois walking around. As to who this Superman and Lois is, your guess is as good as mine. But I'm considering maybe reading and collecting that. I haven't decided yet. But it's going to be interesting. I guess this is DC's way of saying, okay, Convergence wasn't that good, we'll make it up to you by coming out with all these these books spinning out of it. All right, next thing I want to talk about is DC and Warner Brothers in discussion of writing a script for a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie. Now, I can tell you who Booster Gold is. He's the superhero from the future who's all about fame and stuff. I think when David Bowie wrote the song "Fame," I think he was referring to Booster Gold, and he's assisted by this robotic personal assistant named Skeets. And then Blue Beetle. If I could tell you, if I knew which Blue Beetle they were going to go to, I could easily tell you. But there have been two characters that are gone by the name Blue Beetle. The first one was, well, actually no, there have been about three. Yeah, it was about three. But the only two that I know of, the first one is a guy named Ted Kord, who was a card-carrying member of both the Justice League of America and Justice League International, and even owned his own company. And that was until Maxwell Lord, a former liaison of the Justice League International, kills him by capping him in the head with a Glock. Then there's another one. I forget what his name is, but he's a Hispanic kid who inherits the Scarab in one of the worst ways. The Scarab, well, he didn't inherit the Scarab. More like the Scarab inherited him because he ended up getting the Scarab grafted to the middle of his spine, and he can become Blue Beetle whenever he wants. I think it's going to be good. Although I think DC is going the same route that Marvel Studios did with Guardians of the Galaxy, because when this movie came out last year, not a lot of folks knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. And I think this is what DC is doing with Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Do I think it's going to be great? It's only going to be great if they write a good script, if they make great casting. Because to me, any movie, no matter what genre it is, the casting and the script is what really matters. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. And folks, I keep begging and pleading y'all, but if there's any topic that you want me to talk about in the Comically Speaking segment, please let me know. Contact info is down there, or if you can come to me with suggestions. If you're anyone in the Monroe, West Monroe area, or anywhere, or just about anywhere, it doesn't matter what part of Louisiana you're from, what part of the country you're from, what country you're from. Please let me know. I don't mind looking up material for Comedy Speaking, but I think things would. But I want you. This show is a fan-fueled show. I mean, a lot of folks love the show. They chime in, but come on, don't just chime in on one or two things. Chime in on all of them. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
We talked about this. Batman was to take off everybody, Batman would be the one to walk away.
That's right. And you're going to like the way that I'm going to go about doing that.
Batman can take down Galactus.
Hey, sorry, folks. I was just talking to Bill Morgan, one of the customers here at Clint's Comics. We were talking about the DC versus Marvel fight, Batman versus Cyclops. But anyway, up first is Robin, Son of Batman, #4. I love this book. It talks about Damian Wayne, getting out on his own, and he goes to another country to fight some bad guys. And let me tell you, this book is amazing. I mean, he really shows off his training from the League of Assassins in this book. All right, next up is Star Wars #9. Now, this is a different story arc that started in #7. I've yet to read it. I've read the previous one where Luke goes up against Boba Fett, and and of course, he beats him. But then we learned something about this character. I don't know who this character is, but I will let you know who it is in the Comically Speaking segment in a future episode. Up next is Spider Island #4. I love this book also because this one takes place on a part of Battle World called Spider Island, where just about all of the characters who are residents on this island were all infected by a spider virus, and Venom, and then and a few others were not infected. The main reason Venom wasn't infected was because of the symbiote, and he ended up getting a hold of several characters, including Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Iron Man, and injected it with some other virus that may not have cured them, but they were no longer but they no longer are under the mind control of the Spider Queen. And in the last issue, Venom finds Spider-Man after he was presumed dead. All right, next up is Wonder Woman #44. I've yet to read this book since DC returned from the convergence break. I mean, I've been reading other books, and then I've been either tied up with work or tired from being tied up with work. But all I know is that Wonder Woman gets a new costume, and she looks less like Wonder Woman and more like Big Barda. But I'll let you know when I finally get a chance to read this book. I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. And then finally, Superman Wonder Woman #21. This is a tie-in to the true story arc that's going on in both Superman and Action Comics. And Superman and Wonder Woman's relationship is being tested unlike anything I've ever seen. Now, there are a lot of folks who kind of frown upon the fact that Superman and Wonder Woman are dating. For the most part, it kind of works. I mean, every day isn't Sunday. I mean, they have their own problems. Next week, yes. Bill has just requested a DC versus Marvel fight, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll just have to wait till this week's episode. Next week's episode, episode 82. But for the most part, this works. I mean, their relationship works. I mean, it really does. I mean, you have the God of War dating an alien from a non-existent planet that no longer exists. All right, that's 5 I bought, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 6,948. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And parents, once again, if there's something about your children that if you think that's really wrong, you need to get them checked out because, like I said before, it's devastating whenever somebody, is battling cancer, but it's even more devastating when a child has to battle it. And next week I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing something different from what I originally talked about. I'm going to be wearing a polycystic ovarian syndrome themed comic hero tee. Now the color for that is teal, and I will wear that. And I actually know somebody, I personally know somebody who was diagnosed with it, and she's fighting a good fight. And if you're watching this, if you're a child, you're watching this and you're battling cancer, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. And I just want to let you know, you can do this. You got this. You can beat it. And t-shirts. If you want a t-shirt, for adults it's $12 and for children it's $7. And also get your any question segment, any questions for any question segment rather. DC versus Marvel fight. Although Bill Morgan just requested one. So if you're going to request, if anyone else requests one, you have to wait till episode 83. And also topics for the comically speaking segment. I don't want to do this segment anymore. I don't want to do this segment by myself anymore. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. About to pay for these books. I'll see you next week right back here at Clint's Comics for episode 83. Till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, I said this month was going to be, the theme for it was going to be football season. Well, one of my friends, my friend Holly Pell from Vicksburg, had made me aware that this month is also childhood cancer. Dang it. All right, I have 4 questions. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I have blooper reel. Sorry, folks. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the comically speaking segment. Dang it! All right, the first thing I want to talk about in this week's segment of comically speaking is the new Superman book coming out. That's also a spinoff from Convergence. The name of the book is called Superman, Lois, and Clark. And in this book, it pretty much follows. It takes place years after the last issue of Convergence, and it talks about Superman and Lois living on Earth Prime with their son Jonathan, and then they find out that there's another Superman and Lois somewhere around, and yes, folks. Now, dang it.